Shabbat Shalom. I have a little competition tonight. His name is Derek, and he's going to get his Hebrew name in about a half an hour, if he makes it a half an hour. But meanwhile, what I think I know about Derek is that he likes singing. Am I right about that? Okay, so we're going to just open up our service tonight with a song without words. It goes like this. Ay, rai, 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 ay, rai, 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 ay, rai, 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 ay, rai, 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 ay, rai, 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 ay, rai, 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 ay, rai, 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 I can't hear you. So we had the second graders and their families here for Kabbalat Shabbat, for dinner that is, and we opened up with Bim Bam. I thought we could invite the third graders and everyone else to join us in that. Second time with feeling. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. So I hope everybody, when you came in or eventually got a copy of our prayer book, the Mishkan Tefillah, I'm going to ask somebody, maybe Bev, would you mind going out and taking another 5 or 6 of them and putting them on that last bench so people come in a little bit, right in the back, so we'll be able to direct them to that prayer book. Happy that you all have come here to welcome the Sabbath and to pray together and to be together as a community. I want to invite Cadman, who's the teacher of the second grade and who helped to organize our dinner tonight, to come forward and light the Shabbat candles. The lighting of candles is on page 120. And after the candles are lit, we'll sing Shabbat Shalom Umevorach. So the words are very simple, Shabbat Shalom, and then Shabbat Shalom Umevorach. May you have a blessed Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Umevorach. Shabbat Shalom. Umevorach. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. And I'm inviting you to turn to page 142. On page 142, we're singing Shalom Aleichem. In our minds, we're welcoming the special presence of the Shabbat. We're going to call them angels. Angels who bring a message for us. Maybe a message that the Shabbat is beginning. Maybe a message that we can set our tools down and set our week down and be in a different space. So in just a moment, we're going to sing Shalom Aleichem on page 142. But before that, I wanted to give everyone a chance to just reflect a little bit on the week. You can close your eyes if it helps you to do that. And you can do one of two things. Either think of something that you did this week, some beautiful events, some nice experience that you want to bring with you into Shabbat to enjoy in its fullness. Or maybe something that you did this last week or that happened this last week that you want to leave behind and not take with you into the Shabbat. And once we've got those angels, those messages, we'll sing together Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mihi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Welcome, those of you who've just arrived. We're praying out of the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book, the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book, which is just next to the door on the left-hand side. So I invite us to turn back to page 138, and we're going to welcome the Sabbath with Lecha Dodi. And I don't know if everybody knows the melody that we're doing recently, so I'm just going to teach it. This is the melody for the chorus. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Try that. Lecha Dodi likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela. Let's do that again. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Pene Shabbat nekabela. So, there's something about the word dodi. Can you all say dodi? Dodi. You can't say dodi without smiling. Dodi, lacha dodi, okay? So when we sing this, we're welcoming the Sabbath, and we're calling the Sabbath a beloved presence. So when we sing it, and when we say it, let's bring a little joy into it, right? Lecha dodi, likrat kala, bene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, bene Shabbat nekabela. Great. We're going to do verses 1 and 2 and 9. And here's how the melody goes. Sing it with me. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'letchila Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu benelcha Ki mekor ha-bracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela. How about verse 5? Hitoreri Ki va'orech kumi ori Uri shir daberi Kvod Adonai alayich nigla Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela. Now we're going to sing verse 9. And when we do, we're going to stand and face the entrance where you came in. Wherever you came into this synagogue, face in that direction. And we're going to imagine that when we're singing that the special quality and special Sabbath is going to enter the room and fill our hearts. So let's rise and face the door. And we're going to sing the last verse, verse 9. And don't forget to take a little bow when you sing the words. Bo'i b'shalom ateret ba'ala Gam b'simcha uv'tohola Toch emunei am segula Bo'i chala Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Bene Shabbat nekabela. And we remain standing and turn to page 146. Some of the words are on the page. Some of them are not, but I know that our second and third graders know them. It starts with these words, am I awake? And I'm Am I awake? Am I prepared? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Now I'm going to call out to you and you'll answer me. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. You may be seated. On page 148, the first prayer after we do this bow and the Baruch Hu is a prayer that pays attention to the fact that the time is always changing. That day segues into night and then night into day. The stars come out at the right time, the sun rises at the right time, and all this is sort of a magnificent symphony, a magnificent activity coordinated by God's kind of presence in the world. And we have a melody for this at CBI that I know that some of you know, but many of you don't know. So I thought I would teach it tonight because we have a nice group of people here. So we're going to do it line by line. I'm going to sing a phrase and you're going to sing after me, which means you have to give up your inhibitions and just follow me, okay? So the words to it are on page 148. And in the Hebrew or the English, it goes like this. Baruch atah Adonai. Try that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Bechokma poteach she'arim. Bechokma poteach she'arim. Uvituna meshane itim. Uvituna meshane itim. Umachalif et hazmanim. Umachalif et hazmanim. Umesader et hakochavim. Umesader et hakochavim. A lot of syllables here. B'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. B'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla. Borei yom v'layla. Golel or mipnei choshech. Golel or mimeo חושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. And then I just chant a little bit, El Chai B'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. All together, Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravi. Thank you. That's really nice. Page 150. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochvenu v'kumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, נהגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Turn to page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Turning to page 154, we'll chant the V'ahavta. I think the second and third graders know some of this. And then we'll read it together in the English. On page 154, first in the Hebrew. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Let's read together in the middle of the page. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Turning to page 158. Not sure what we're doing in religious school anymore on Wednesday nights. I hope you know this melody. If you do, will you sing it with me? Ya la 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 la. Yes? Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai. Mi chamocha ne'edar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oh seifele. Nora tehilot oh seifele. Mahalechutecha ra'u vanecha. Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch leolam ba'ed. Alay la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. So on the next page, actually on page 161, we sing the first couple lines in the English, let there be love and understanding among us. And then we go back to page 160 and sing the first line in the Hebrew. And of course, we know this in two parts. So if you know a second part, go ahead and break out on your own. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Take a breath on that one. So we'll come now to the Amidah, which is tonight going to be a silent prayer. We'll just sing the first lines together on page 168. And then if you are able or willing, not everybody's going to be able to do this, we invite you to stand. And when the singing dies down, after we sing together on page 164, just to use the time for a private prayer. And a private prayer could be just closing the eyes and wondering about what comes into the mind. Or or it could be touching base with one word or two words that you've seen in the prayer book or that you see on the page, or for that matter, any of the words that you find in the prayer book. And just use this time to be in the silence, to be in the quiet, and when you're finished with your own private prayer, we invite you to take your seat again. So let's rise on page 164. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit teilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. So you join me on page 180 at the bottom of the page. Oh, say shalom, bimromah. Oh, say shalom, bimromah. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Alleluia. May the one who brings peace. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Oh, say shalom. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Huya ase shalom. Alleluia. I see some hand motions, right? May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Amen to that. So now that we've all come together in prayer, we very, very special event tonight. We have a new baby who has come to the synagogue and so far has been extremely well behaved, who is going to be given his official Hebrew name here in the synagogue today. So, Dana, can I invite you to come up, and John, come up and bring Derek with you. And we'll see. He's done very well in the pews. We'll now see how well he wants you come. What do you think he likes? I think he likes everyone singing. It's quite possible. Let's get this down for you. Okay. So this is, can you all see? This is Derek. We'll pick him up a little higher. They're cuter than this, they don't come. So what I want to do is to recite a blessing, first in the Hebrew and then the English. It's actually a Misha Berach. As you know, Misha Berach could be a blessing for healing, but a Misha Berach could also be on a happy occasion. We sometimes make a Misha Berach when people read from the Torah. We sometimes make a Misha Berach at a happy occasion, and this is certainly a happy occasion. So we say, Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Ve'imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, and our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, Hu yivarech et hayeled harach hazeh. May that God bless this tender child with life and health. V'yisku aviv ve'imo legadlo. And may his mother and father have the joy of raising him, lachancho and lachachamo, and to educate him and to bring him wisdom. And may his hands and heart be faithful. V'hiyeh yadav v'libo le'el emunah. May he bring honor to the house of Israel, blessings to humanity, and glory to the name of God. And we all say, Amen. He even said Amen with that yawn. And now we say, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, God of our fathers and mothers, kayem et hayeled hazeh, sustain this child through his parents' love. V'yikra shemo b'Yisrael, and let his name be known among our people as Devir, Reuven, Ben Esther, Shoshana, V'Jon. Yismach ha'av b'yotzei chalatzav v'tagel imo b'pri bitno. May his parents rejoice in this child of theirs. Zeh hakatan gadol yihyeh. This little guy will one day grow up. Ken keshem shenichnas labrit, as at this moment we bring him into the covenant of our ancestors. Ken yikanes leTorah ulechuppah ulemaasim tovim. May he also grow into a life of wisdom, Torah. May he find happiness in a loving partner in his life, and lemaasim tovim, and a life of good deeds. And we all say, Amen.
Holy One, we give thanks to you for the gift of our child, Derek Ray, who has entered the covenant of Abraham and Sarah. Keep him from harm and grant that he may be a source of joy to us and to all who love him. Be with us and give us health and length of days. Teach us to raise our child with care and affection, wisdom and understanding, that he may be a faithful child of our people and a blessing to the world. We give thanks to you, O source of life.
And so they're going to say the words of the Shechianu in English, and then let's all join them in the Shechianu in Hebrew. Ready?
We praise you, Holy One of blessing, for giving us life and sustaining us, and bringing us to this joyous moment.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechianu v'kiyemanu v'higianu lahazman hazeh. So we want to invite Dana and John to say a few words about the name. Tell us about the name.
The name Devir Reuven is actually very appropriate for a baby naming ceremony because the name Devir means the most holy place and Reuven means behold, a boy. So in this most holy place here for our Jewish community in Charlottesville, behold, we have a boy. His name Reuven actually corresponds with my maternal grandfather's Hebrew name, also Reuven, and his middle name in English, Ray, was also my grandfather's first name, Ray. He was a really wonderful guy. He was a science teacher and a principal and a Jewish camp director, which is very reminiscent of CBI Forest School today, actually. He was a landscaper and a gardener and just a big softie, and he was a wonderful, wonderful person. So we are honored to be able to give Derek a name after him. So that's a little bit about his name. What do you think, Beth?
So before I bless him with the priestly blessing, you want to read those words of Kabbalat and intention.
As your eyes are filled with wonder when you gaze at the world, so too may you be filled with wonder at the everyday miracles of life. As you startle to the world around you, so may you remain ever open to both the happiness and the pain of those who encounter in the world. As you cry for food and comfort now, so may you one day cry out to correct the injustices of the world, to help clothe the naked and feed the hungry. As your hand tightly grasps your parent's finger, so may you grasp hold of learning and grow in knowledge and wisdom.
We all say, Amen. So now, yes. So I'm going to bless him with the priestly blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichneka. May God's light always shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face, may God's presence always be lifted up and close to you. May you always know in that presence.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
coming
so
up here
much.
And sharing your joy with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a very good baby. Okay. Wow. We made it through that. Okay. So, it's hard to go after a small baby, but I'll try just a little bit. Conversation. Our Torah portion this week is actually called Mishpatim, which means rules or laws, and it actually is a continuation of what we read last week from the Torah, where God comes down on Mount Sinai and begins to give the 10 commandments, and then in this week's portion goes on with many, many, many more commandments. And the most interesting phrase for some people, or for our rabbis maybe, in this portion is that as soon as all those commandments are done, and Moses reads them to the people, it says in one voice, speak these two words, which I invite you to speak after me. Na'aseh v'nishma. Na'aseh v'nishma. Na'aseh v'nishma. Great. So na'aseh, there's no problem with the word na'aseh. Na'aseh just means we'll do them, right? We heard the commandments, we'll do them. But the second word is a little unusual. The word is nishma, and those of you in the religious school hear the word shema. What does it mean, the word shema? What do you know a prayer with that? What does shema mean? To hear, right? As in what? As in Shema Yisrael, right? Hear, O Israel. So the Torah says that the people said, Na'aseh ve'nishma, which sort of doesn't make a lot of sense, because it sort of means, okay, we'll do them, and now let's hear them, right? Seems to be the wrong order. How would you say it if somebody gave you commandments or asked if you wanted them? You would say, well, let's hear them, and then I'll do them, right? And that's normally the way that we think, right? So the rabbis try to explain what that could possibly mean, and they notice that the word Shema doesn't just mean to hear, right? What else can it mean? Yeah? Peace. Could mean peace. How do you think it means peace? You're not sure? Yeah. I'm not sure either, but it's a good guess. But to hear, what else could it mean to hear? To listen, right? To listen. So, and to listen could also mean something else. I'm trying to think of many times that my mother or father would say to me, "You better listen to me." And they mean, right, follow or obey, right? So to listen, Shema, doesn't only mean to hear with the ears, but it means to follow or to obey. So an easy way to solve the problem is to say that what the people said is, Naaseh v'nishma, we will listen and we will obey. I mean, no, we will do and we will obey, or, we will surely obey, or you betcha, we're going to obey, right? But I want to go back to the original meaning of the word, or the original meaning of the phrase, which can also be thoughtful and can also teach us something. Because, in our sort of modern way of thinking of things, we usually put things like this. We want to understand what we're committing ourselves to, and then we're going to go do it, right? So if I'm going to sign a contract on a house, I want to understand all the terms before I sign on it. If I make a purchase of some kind, I want to know all the terms, nishma, and then naaseh, then I'll do it. But I think there are some things that the only way to understand them is by doing them. And I wanted to ask if there's one of the young people here. We'll take a young person and an older person. Can you think of something that before you did it, you didn't really understand, or you couldn't quite understand what it would be like or how you would do it, but once you did it, you learned about it and you understood? Can anybody think of something like that? Oh, having children. Who said that? That wasn't one of the children. No, that's the grandma. Yeah. So, how should we put it, right? We kind of know how to make children, and we kind of know that we get children, but how to be a parent is definitely not something that we know before we do. Maybe if we knew, we would have thought differently, but we learn by doing it. It is only by making a commitment to it before we fully understand what it means that we know what it is. How about a young person? Is there a young person here who can think of something that you did that you didn't understand at first, but when you did it, you figured it out, it made sense to you? Can you think of something? I'm seeing a lot of thinking, a lot of stroking the non-beard. Yes, soccer. So tell me about that. What didn't you know about soccer? Huh? What's that? Yeah, so soccer is certainly one of those things. They can explain it to you all you want. This is the move and this is how you run. But until you actually do it, right? You don't really understand it. You can't learn about it by hearing about it. You can only learn about it by doing it. How about adults? Is there something else to understand? Some things that we only understand by doing them. We can't really know them in advance. Yeah. Teaching your kids to drive. That's it. You can watch all the YouTubes in the world and you can know what you're supposed to do, but until you just get there, you just say, I'm going to do it and then I'm going to figure out how to do it. Exactly. Another one. Yeah. Delivering a baby. Yeah. There's always a first time, right? And and I guess you want to say that even after the first time, you're still learning, right? You're learning. Yeah. Lucas is up there with his hand. Lucas? Coping with the death of a loved one. Yeah. It's something that you read about. It's something that you know that everybody goes through, but you can't really understand it until you go through it yourself, right? Yeah. Yeah. Other things that really we na'aseh v'nishma, that we do them and then we understand them. I'm just curious. Yeah. Yes. Going to sleepaway camp, yeah. I mean, they could tell you all they wanted, what's going to be like, right? And what, yeah, but until you do it. So, imagine, let me ask you a question. Don't want to put you on the spot, Susie, but like, if you had said, hey, I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't really understand what it's about, would you be sad that you didn't go to sleepaway camp? Probably, yeah, yeah. Because if we only did the things that we understood, if we only did things that we really understood before we did them, there are a lot of things that we just wouldn't do, and we would miss out on a lot of what's wonderful about life, right? I'll take one more if anybody wants to bring something else to the table. Yeah. Fasting. Dancing. Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, they can tell you all they want. Put this foot in front of that one, and this is the moves. But until you actually just get into it and do it, you really can't know. So I guess what I want to come back to is that, you know, at first it looks like a crazy way of saying those words. We'll do them, and then we'll understand. But the things that are really a little more difficult and a little more complicated, we only really understand them when we do them. And understanding, right, hearing, could mean a lot of different things. And this is what Rabbi Jonathan Sachs suggests. It could mean listening. It could mean paying attention. It could mean understanding. It could mean absorbing. It could mean internalizing. It could mean responding. And it could mean obeying. So that's maybe the wisdom of this week's portion, that if there are things in your life, and in some ways, many of the customs and practices of Judaism, there are things that we didn't grow up with maybe in our own families. And you can ask the rabbi, well, why do we do this? And what's the reason why? Why should we, stop working on the Sabbath? And why should we make these blessings? And why do we do this and why do that? But I think the tradition wants to say to us, some things you can't explain, not because they're not explicable, but because you have to do them and you have to let them become a part of you. You have to internalize them and meet them sort of halfway. And in doing so, then you understand them as well, and then you gain the knowledge to do them. So that's the kavanah. Let that be the kavanah, the intention this week for everybody here. Thank you. We're going to move on to the Aleinu, which is on page 586. It's in the middle of the page, and we invite you to rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. You may be seated. And we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 598. And tonight in our congregation, we are remembering Richard Applebaum, Jerry Applebaum, James Applebaum, Melvin Barron, Murray Biscayer, Reva Borish, Nancy Cohn, Harry Dorman, Morris Samuel Feigert, Belle Avery, Norman Lewis Kaufman, Louis Leffler, Rosalind Logan, Benjamin Noble, Beatrice Noble, Leo Pizer, Martin Picker, Daniel Queen, Ethel Samuels, Marcia Steinman, and Abraham Wellen. And we're still observing Shiva or Shloshim for Mary Orenstein, aunt of Joe Greenberg. So anyone who's observing a yard site or a period of mourning or who wishes to join the mourners is invited to rise for the Mourners Kaddish, which is on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, Yehe Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Leolam Leolmei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudusha B'richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'alma V'imru Yehe Shlama Rabbah Min Shamaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. We ask that the source of peace send comfort to those who mourn. We all say, Amen. You may be seated. So tomorrow morning, we have two services here. The traditional egalitarian will take place in the small sanctuary. Here we're having a Reform Mishkan Tefillah service in the Bat Mitzvah of Amity Craig. I hope you'll all join us tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. I wanted to thank the second and third grade classes and families, the second graders for bringing some of their dinner over to the Kiddush table, and the third grade families for bringing some dessert, and the Mitch family for bringing some dessert to celebrate the naming of Derek. And following our concluding song, I'm going to ask everyone to bring your prayer books to the back. Maybe one or two people will volunteer to be the ushers and put them back on the bookshelf. And then we'll proceed into Omansky Hall. Some people are going to be handing out, I think, right? Cadman, are we set to hand out? Say that again? Are there people out there handing out? Are there some parents who had volunteered to hand out? Okay. So if you're going to be handing out the wine and the challah, maybe go now and get those trays so that when people come through the door, everyone can get. And we'll circle around. We'll make the kiddush and the motzi, and then enjoy each other's company. Now, second graders, we learned some hand motions to a song tonight. So I want to invite any second graders who want to join me on the bima for this song to come up now. I think you can do it. If you need to bring your parents with you, you can. Are there any other second graders who can help us with our song tonight? Ma Yafeh Hayom that we just learned. Anybody want to come up here? Oh, don't make Susie come up by herself. Somebody else has to come up. Huh? Second, how about, are there third graders who know it too? Are there third graders who know this song? Come on up to the front. I think you do. All right. And it's on page 634. 634 at the bottom of the page. The words are Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, all right. Right here from the front. You ready with the hand motions? Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Indeed, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for everybody. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Shabbat Shalom online too. We wish you a good, happy day.